Hey guys, and welcome to Season 3, Episode 11 of Couch in the Mind, clearing the mind one couch talk at a time.
Yep.
On today's episode, I've got Aka. How are you, brother?
What's up, bro? Good to see you.
And I've got Luke, aka the Theonedevoy.
What's up, bro? Good to see you.
Hey, boys. But yeah, thanks very much, lads, for joining in today's conversation. We'll be going over the topic of lyric message, and I think it sits really well for both you guys. Luke being an upcoming rapper, you know, who's someone who idolises yourself. You know, you're absolutely you're smashing it right now, bro. With your last hit of OK, I think it hit about 450,000 views on Spotify.
Yeah, I think it's like around that much, bro. I haven't checked in a bit, but yeah.
Bro, that's so good, man. But for you guys, it's so important. And I find that as well, like as a listener, as a listener for someone who's really into rap, that I indulge myself into the actual lyrics itself and the meaning behind the song. Yeah. Because it's easy to rap like cat with, you know, whatever, bacon or whatever it is. Yeah. But when you actually take the time to think about it and analyze it, like it actually makes a world of good, and it actually helps us in the long run if you're going through a difficult scenario. Yeah. Now, I'd love to ask yourself, Aka, to start off with, what actually got you into music and into making your own music, man?
Well, to be honest, like when I was 10 years old, I just picked up my mom's laptop, and it had this thing called Mixcraft on it, and I just like...
Hell yeah.
Yeah, like I just went from there, to be honest, like ever since a kid, yeah.
But then going from that one phase of like, oh yeah, music's, you know, fucking cool, I really enjoy that, and I see that as a maybe something that I can get through when I'm struggling, to really indulging yourself in it, and how did that happen?
I think when I was in high school, actually, when I was like 16, I just realized that music was just something for me. You know, I don't really know exactly the age, but around that time is when I realized that I can't stop music, and it's just been something I've had in my life since, to be honest with you. Yeah, I remember making a song called Upgrade at the time, and that was the first time I actually started taking music like seriously. Around that time, I think it was 2018 or something like that. Yeah.
And do you find that it does help you when you are struggling, or when you are, you know, at the, you know, in your worst sort of state? Do you find, have you used music to get you through those periods? Yeah,
definitely, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, without music, I don't know where I'd be, honestly. Music is just the only thing that's constant in my life, is just music.
Now, bro, I'm gonna hand it over to Luke.
Straight up.
So Luke is a big fan of yours. And I love to get a fan's perspective, because it's not usual that you jump on a podcast and you get a fan on it as well. So,
this guy's so freaking talented, by the way. For real.
100%.
Thank you.
100%. And we'll preach that in a sec. We'll go through that.
Straight up.
We'll put you in that stall, man. We'll talk you up. But to get a fan's perspective, you know, listening to iiiConic, how does that make you feel? You know, for someone who's wanting to get into music and wanting to get viewership and make it a dream career, listening to music like iiiConic's, how does it make you feel?
I mean, it depends really on the situation you're going through. Like, as you've spoken to me before about like breakups, or it could be friendship or anything, like, it's relatable. It's very relatable to like anyone. Yeah.
And I think that's what I'm trying to do with the music now, like make it as relatable as possible to people that actually go through this stuff. So it's good that you said that.
Yeah, like in the lyrics, like, I'll be okay. It's like, people can relate to that in any way.
Straight up.
I think because people think that when you're doing really well, whatever you enjoy doing, that there aren't any struggles, that you're not going to face shit along the way. But as you said, and as I've kind of mentioned as well, when you actually delve into the lyrics of someone who may be going through something, I'm assuming there's probably points in your life where you really have hit rock bottom. Yeah. And through that song, okay, I can hear that. And I think Luke can hear that as well. Is that the way you were trying to project your song?
Yeah, like, and, you know, like you said, people go through, like, different things. And, you know, it's just, I feel like at some point it did really, like, affect me. Like, you know, there was a point in my life where, I just really needed to make that song to, like, express it. And then once I did, it was out, you know. And it was, like, a really good moment in my life. Yeah.
Legend, brother. But the thing is, it's really hard to actually get to that stage, because we're like, you know, I don't know, as guys, we're kind of like, we're fine. You know, nothing's going on. She'll be right. Let's go out drinking with the boys. You know what I mean? Like, that's our mentality. Where with girls, you know, girls struggle a bit as well. And I'm sure people listening in, you know, if you're a lady, you probably have struggled at times. But it is a predominant thing with guys that we don't talk about these sort of things. Yeah, you know, the fact that you've actually reached that level where you were able to acknowledge it and do something about it, like, you know, congrats, bro, because it's not easy to get there.
Thanks, bro. Honestly, appreciate that. Like, it was hard, bro. And it actually took me 8 to 10 months to actually just... And also, like, I went off socials for, like, a year and a half or something. And it just made me feel like I could actually just be me for like a year and a half and just
breathe again.
Exactly, yeah. And I think that's what gave me the energy to do it. Yeah.
I think social media has such a massive impact on our mental state, and it's interesting because I've spoken to a few people in the past about this. You know, we classify drinking and taking drugs. You know, that can be a form of addiction if you do that repetitively too much. But with social media, it is a form of addiction. I don't know anyone, unless they're going camping or they're trying to escape from the phone or shut it off completely.
Exactly.
We look at it every day.
Yeah.
You know, as soon as the notification goes off, I don't know about you guys, but I've got to look at it.
Yeah. Well, like that's for real. For a few years, that's like exactly what I was doing. And at some point, I just realized that you just check it when you want to check it. So I feel like now I'm just at a point now where I could be me and not focus on social media. So that's why I took that like year off, just to realize who I am first before I could, you know, go on to social media. And now I only just check it maybe like 7-8 times a day. And that's it.
That's it, brother. You've got to hit that point of realization to figure out what you need for yourself. You know, we have a tendency of following the crowd. Yeah. What everyone else is doing, we'll just continue following that trend. It's such a common thing in today's society. But I'd love to know, because Luke, you're still in your year 11, right?
Yeah, year
11. What's it like at school at the moment with social media and in that respect?
I mean, I guess in the music perspective of like me, I'll see like other artists doing like really well, and then I'll just be like, damn, how can I do that? Like, why is my music not sounding like that? Like, I'll try and compare myself to someone else, and then it's just like, it just brings you down a lot.
Well, that's the thing, like, because we are our harshest critics. Like, we will look at other people and be like, yo, like, why can't I sound like him or her? But I guess you've got to find your own niche. You know, like if you listen, like in music terms for you guys, like you listen to like Post Malone or Kendrick, as soon as you hear their voice, you're like, oh, that's Kendrick's song, that's a Post Malone song. You have to try and find your own, you know, your own niche.
Yeah, like that's something that I'd say to like artists now, that okay was also one of those things where I just realized I just have to be myself. Like, whatever you make in your music is who you are. So I stopped comparing and stopped doing all that stuff like a while back, but it's pretty hard, bro. Like, it's not easy to do. But yeah, like, this guy's talented, bro. So if you like,
thank you.
If you stick to what you're doing, because to be honest, you're like unique too. Your voice is unique. So just keep going like that. Yeah.
And how do you like find that external drive? Because we all have a passion for something. You know, for Luke, who was wanting to get to that next stage, he wants to continue in that regard. Like, where would you suggest to start? Like, where's the starting point, man?
You just have to. First of all, you have to be yourself. That's like the first initial thing you have to do before doing anything. And then second of all, just know like the people that you're around is one thing too. And then when you do that, get a manager, like all those things that you need to do to like elevate you in the music industry. And then once you just keep being yourself, improving your music, you're just gonna get there at some point, you know.
Yeah.
Like that's really the only way I could explain it.
Because you think it's a matter of, you know, obviously you've got to be talented in a certain field of what you're interested in, but is it also a matter of who you know, not what you know? Like, it's good to try and get yourself out there and not being afraid of getting a no by asking someone a question.
Yeah, like, I think for me as well, I feel like I got lucky in certain ways because I started younger and I got like a manager out there. But like some people go through it differently, but just as long as you improve on your music and really stun people with your music, like people actually relate to it, people enjoy listening to it, you're always gonna grow a fan base. So like some people will be cold calling emails and stuff to managers. Some people just like, you know, they just make music and the management comes to them. But yeah, like it's a journey.
Yeah.
And if you know people, pretty much you would know people. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, man, because it's like you put yourself out, like you said, you might reach out to a manager or another artist that you know, and you might be able to build connections from there. But like from that, you could reach out to 50 different people. But if you get one response, that's great. It might take having to reach out to 50 people to get that one response.
Yeah, yeah. Because I remember when I was like a kid, just making music, I would do that like a lot. That was like back when I was like a teenager, so around your age. Straight up, bro. Yeah.
Bro, we're getting old, you and me.
Yeah, straight up, bro. 22.
No, 20. Yeah, exactly, man. Like legit, we'll be like grey hair in about 2 years' time.
Bro. Already got it. Already got it, bro.
Bro, when you you get to that elevate to the next level, and you're playing at like Splendor, any of those festivals, you'll be like in a wheelchair, mate.
Yeah, straight
just
up, bro.
strolling around.
I remember like going to Splendor once actually, and it was like the craziest. Have you ever been to Splendor?
Nah.
You can't, eh?
I've never been to Splendor, eh? Was it like how do you define like the difference between going to a music festival or just seeing like a standalone artist? Like what's that experience like, man?
Well, going to a festival just is like, listening to music and everything. I feel like that's better for me, to be honest, because I get to see different art on, different stages, and performing is really dope, but just listening to other music as well is really dope as well.
Because like it's music is its own art form, much like going to bloody Goma and seeing some very interesting photos and pictures, but like everyone interprets it differently.
Yeah.
So I guess it's cool to get different perspectives on certain artists, and again the lyrics that they're portraying. It's cool, man.
Yeah, dude. At this point, like, to be honest with you, I love doing shows, bro, because I get to like interact with everyone.
Yeah,
that's
straight up.
Yeah. Shout out everyone that comes to my shows.
Yeah, bro, I love it. And going back a bit, like when you were at school, man, because I recall when we were talking to Luke. So for those who don't know Luke, he runs his own podcast, Outspoken Show, and you guys were at school together, and you were talking about how you're getting a bit of a hard time for having an interest in music.
Yeah.
People make you like laughing at you because you had this passion.
Yeah.
What was that like going through that period?
Well, like at school, no one like really understood what I was trying to do, and to be honest, my music wasn't like that good back then. Personally, I could say that. And I guess I just needed to elevate, and that's how I took it. But a lot of people really liked it, like at the time, but some people just didn't, and that's what it was. Like more people just didn't.
Yeah,
that's so relatable.
Yeah,
so relatable.
But dude, that's high school, bro. Like that's you'll realize that's what happens when you're a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, but some people, it's like some people get lucky just because of the people they are in high school. But I was like quiet, always. I mean, sometimes like after 16 is when I didn't. But yeah.
And do you know what it is? I reckon it is also coming out of pure jealousy.
Yeah.
Someone might have had a dream and they've never chased it, and then you're succeeding in what you're trying to achieve, and then they just start giving you a hard time and go, "Oh, you never make it," blah blah blah, trying to put you down to try and elevate their pain that they're going through because they've never tried.
But as a kid as well, you don't really understand like what life really is. So you just like, to be honest, kids who are 17, I understand when they like act like a dick, to be honest, because they're just kids.
Yeah.
And then eventually when you turn 22 or whatever, you'd realize that like it doesn't really matter, bro. Like now you've got like a potential to like elevate your music, and that's all you need to focus on, because these other people are just going to bring you down.
Yeah,
honestly.
I'm going to say this because it's relatable to you what Aka's saying, but one of the biggest things that I struggled with going through school is the different groups. So you got like the nerdy groups, like the guys that are really into sport, or like your popular kids. And they stick together, and then the popular kids make fun of everyone else that doesn't fit in the groups and all that sort of stuff. But when you finish school, like none of that matters, bro. It's like much like when someone puts you down for something you're trying to achieve. Like you realize, oh fuck, I've got to really focus on myself.
Exactly.
And I'm spending too much time on putting other people down.
To be honest, because you won't even see these guys again.
No.
You're like 18, like you just won't see them again. So.
I mean, what's your take on that? Seeing you're in that situation right now.
I mean, around my school, it's not really so much like that.
Yeah.
But to touch back onto what he said on what you were saying about just people like putting you down constantly. I remember last year I dropped like a 3-song EP. It wasn't the best, but like I loved it. It was my thing. Like I still love making music and all that. But this group that I was hanging out with, they were like straight group chats, putting everything down, and I was like, come on, I was like hanging out with you like a week ago. What's wrong?
That's bro. Those people jealous, bro. That's it.
Yeah, so they were like putting me down and all that, and I was like, oh, it's whatever. And then with the latest song I just dropped, like all of them were like, damn, that's good. And I'm kind of like.
But can you see that pattern? Like when you've put something out that you're not entirely happy with, but it's a starting point.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you get a bit of traction and people start listening, they go, "Oh, I know." Like you know those guys where like, you won't see him for like 10 years, and if you do really well, they'll be like, "Oh, bro, he was my best mate at school."
Yeah. I'm kind of just like, I don't really know what to say in that time,
Because you're going through that right now.
I'm kind of like. Well, wasn't it last year you were just talking shit like
straight
all over
up,
social media, and now you're like talking to me in class like nothing happened. I'm kind of like,
no, dude, those people, to be honest, you gotta stay away from those type of people, bro. I realized that later because they're like vultures, bro. Like whenever they see something that's good for them, they just
get a fade.
And those are the people that it's really hard to shake them out of those mentalities, bro. So if you can and if you want to, you can stay away, but like that's the only way to like free your mind in my opinion.
Now, because you were saying that some of your music has changed. Yeah, it's a little bit. You said a bit more melodic.
Yeah, definitely.
And I guess it's probably a bit more in touch with your emotions and how you're feeling and trying to portray that out to the wider audience. Yeah. How did you get to the stage where you're just like, you know what, like, you know, people can think what of like anything of me, and if I want to like express something and I'm struggling, I don't care. Like, how do you get to the next stage for, you know, it might not necessarily be just with music. But if anyone's struggling, you know, with mental health as a whole, if someone's kind of struggling just to talk about it, because they're afraid of what other people think, like, how do you get to that stage, man?
Well, I think it had a lot to do with the year off social media, like off, just staying low key, because you realize how much it does to people, and you just get so caught up in your head. So,
100%.
If you're in your own head and you have control of your mind, then you know, it's not easy to get there, but you have to at least try. Because some people, like, they just get sucked into it.
Oh, for sure, bro.
Yeah.
Because, like, the social media, it's like a war pole. Like, everyone, you follow everything. It's that societal trend. Like, if you know, it could be a simple thing as someone posting a photo and then a negative comment comes out. You know, emojis are a massive thing in today's society. And then, bro, like there's emojis that I probably never imagined have seen before, and all these different.
100 more, bro.
Yeah, legit, bro. Like I don't even know, hey, but there's things like that where it can be portrayed in the wrong respect, and it can put you down. I think it takes a big man. It takes big balls, bro. To actually be able to do that, legit. Like it's not easy to do that, and I think to acknowledge and say, I've got to take a step back, and I've just got to focus on myself, and kind of find myself. Yeah. You know, it's a hard thing, man. So you gotta pat yourself on the back, brother, for being able to do that.
Appreciate it.
No, 100%.
I appreciate it, bro.
Now, have you found that really getting into music and stuff, did you have to change your friendship group to find people that would actually lift you up when you're struggling, or give you that driving force to continue to drive into your passion?
Yeah, like I had to find people that I actually could be me around. That's one thing too that I've learned like recently, because if you have people around you that make you someone else, then you can't really have them around, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's what I realized.
Yeah.
You have anything to add on that, brother?
I mean, I haven't really changed my group. I've had the same like close mates for the past 5 years, and they're like really good. Every time I like make something good, they hype it up like.
That's what you want.
Yeah, and they'll tell me if something's like gone or if something's not up or like right or anything. But yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
But I can guarantee you, for you guys, like if you sit back and you listen to a song, because you know you'd be critiquing your song before you upload it on Spotify, and you'd be like, bro, I hate this song so much now.
Straight up.
Bro,
I have like that 2-month period where I just just hate it, and I just
Yeah.
can't listen to it.
I've heard it so many
Yeah,
times.
so
it's
because
like,
I have to mix it with Brandon, so we always have to constantly hear the mix over and over and over again. So at some point, you're just like. But then when it comes out, people tend to like it, so you just like the song for what it is at the time when you like wrote it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
But even when you've heard it like 500 times, you'll hear it at the published version, and you'll be like, oh my god, like this part I hate so much. But like if I listen to it, I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? I can't even hear it.
No, yeah, it's weird though, because obviously we like are so accustomed to the song, we tend to overthink it, and that's why when people say that it's good, when you think it's bad, you just realize that it's a like subjective thing, but the quality always needs to be there, in my opinion. Like if the quality is not there, they don't have the ability to see your full potential.
No, it's so true. Like you've got to make sure like the quality is decent, because it will gain traction, it'll gain attention. You know, if it's half crappy, like, you know, it will get some attention, but it's not what you're after, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
how long do you spend mixing? Like, how long did OK take to mix?
To be honest with you, like we kept going back and forth with like different things, so probably about 2 months, I'd say. 2 months, just like I would get the song and just record it one day, but then actually mixing it, going through different ideas, because I tend to like go back and forth a lot with Brandon, so and he knows that. Sorry, Brandon.
Bro, he's probably used to it now, man.
Bro, he's so used, bro. He's so chill though. Like but like it took about 2 months, and then some songs about a week, 2 weeks. It just depends how much I put into the song at the time.
How do you know like if the flow's good? Because I've never really, you know, I've never produced a song. Like you listen to the lyrics and stuff. How do you know? Nah, that doesn't fit well. Like how do you know if it's a vibe?
Well, for me, I was just lucky that I'd been doing this for a while, so I've learnt things along the way. Like I've been doing this for years, dude. Like how long? Well, I started when I was 10, so 12 years.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for like 12 years, so during that time, I learned a lot of stuff on the way. But if you really want to focus on it and listen to your favorite artists a lot more and just learn off different people, that's when you'll like do it quick. But for me, I don't know why it took me 12 years. Some people it takes, you know, a shorter amount of time. But yeah.
But I guess it's like when you look at someone who's writing their first book and they're like, oh, bro, how long did it take you to make it? It's like, oh, it took me like 20 years because I was like umming and ahhing and I wasn't sure. But the finished product is what you're after. So I guess it takes, everyone goes through the process at different times. You know, it might take 5 years, 10 years, 15 years.
Yeah.
But you know when it's right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For melodies, I could be sitting in my room for an hour listening to the same beat, trying different melodies, but I feel like if I can't make a melody in 10, 15 minutes, I have to change the beat.
Yeah, true.
Like,
yeah. I feel you.
Because I don't want to make like
I feel you, bro.
you like, make a song, you make lyrics, you write lyrics, you put the vocals down, everything, and then it's like I don't like the melody.
And then you gotta
and
change
then I'm
it.
kind of like
change the whole song. You gotta throw it.
Real. So it's just like straight in the bin.
Yeah, chocolate, yeah.
it's the worst feeling because it's like, geez, I spent that much on that song, and then you hear the melodies back, and I'm like, next.
Yeah, next. I mean, that's actually good though, because not all songs work for your voice. Some not all beats work for your voice.
I've tried trap beats. That's
that's
horrible.
Yeah.
Something I've realized, like, your voice has a different, like, a particular cadence, and you just have to find the type of genre and the type of beat and the type of, you know, instrumentals that complement that cadence.
Some songs, like my latest single, Where You Going, I had the melody, like that first 5 seconds of hearing the beat, I was just like, that's right there. That's perfect. So then I started building on that, and that song probably took me 20 minutes to make, to be honest. Like,
nice.
I'll do 10 minutes one day, and then I'll leave it for the next day, so I can think of something fresh.
Yeah.
And I'll come back, and then I finished it off, and yeah, but sometimes I have to be melodies. I have to put down the melodies for like 3 minutes on a beat, or just the instrumentals, and then I'll go to lyrics over like what I think I'm saying. Cause like I'll freestyle words, but they make like no sense at all. Like I remember mate Cohen, I had like this thing before he came over. Shout out Infaced. But
Yo, shout out InFace, bro.
Sorry to butt in, but how weird is that you guys both know him?
Bro, he's a legend. Like,
he's just
if you know him, then he is InFace the GOAT, right?
Yeah,
straight up.
100%.
If you know him, then you're automatically a GOAT.
Who is this M-Phase?
He's like
the greatest
of all time.
Go.
That's the only way to explain it, bro.
What does he do? Does he produce or does
he produces beats?
He produces, bro. This guy has like a character, charisma about him, bro. This guy's like
he's got a full encyclopedia on beats.
Bro, the guy knows everything.
Every time he comes over to my house, it's just like it's a new vibe.
Yeah,
real.
It's just like
he's such a cool guy,
like,
bro.
InFace it here.
But going on what you're saying, man.
But yeah, I had melodies just on melodies, like probably 7. You know how timelines work
Yeah.
So I had like 7 tracks on the timeline with just the beat at the top, and he comes in and he's like, "What are you even saying?" I'm like,
were you freestyling?
Yeah, I was just freestyling melodies. Like I'll do that over the beat until I find a melody I like, and he's just like, "What are you saying? Like it makes no sense." I'm like, "That part comes next."
Well, that's what it means. It's like you got to get through. You got to get through that that blurry phase of not knowing what's going to be the end result to get get there. It's like you look at, someone was speaking to me like trying to make a viral video. You have to continue to make it, like just continue that process, and then 1 out of 50 will be alright. You probably won't be happy with all of it because we're so judgmental in ourselves, but like you continue that same process, and one thing will lead to another, and you might not necessarily think it's going to go that way, but you do, and you're like, oh, that actually sounds pretty good.
I've had so many lines where I just fluked it like that as well.
Yeah,
just fluked it, and it was the one. So.
Or you've tried to find a lyric, like the next line for the song for ages, and you just flow it, and you go, oh, that actually works so well.
Well, for me now, because I spend more time thinking about the lyric before, I usually there's a lot of things that I have to go with each line now. Now it's like, does it flow with the previous line? And there's certain things, because for me, I'm trying to paint a story now with my music, like a paintbrush. And
that's cool, man.
That's why I used to do that punch-in method, but now for me, it's just how I work. Like I can't really think of those crazy ideas off the top. No, yeah.
Talking about the painting, with a paintbrush, have you actually painted before though?
No. Okay, well, I
love this. I love this.
I've done it when I was like a kid, but I'm not really into it now. Yeah, I don't know why I can't do it, but I'm just the worst artist. I keep trying to draw Dragon Ball Z,
all the animes,
on my pencils and shit, but I just can't do that.
I remember I had the old Nintendo Wii. This was before Switch and all those other ones, but I had Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3 on there, and it was that was the game. You played your Call of Duty all the time, eh?
Straight up, dude.
Oh,
the king, man.
And
UFC, by the way.
Bro, you should do a Twitch stream.
Yeah,
that'd be so good.
I've been trying to get into Twitch, but
dude, that'd be mad. Do Twitch streaming for Call of Duty and UFC.
I feel like you'd have to have a PC for that though.
Yeah,
I have a Mac. Yeah. I don't know if I could, but
I swear the only games available on Mac is Minecraft and Angry Birds.
Wait, Fortnite.
Can't you get Steam or something? Steam?
Yeah, but just it's very limited. It's so limited
on Mac.
It's so limited.
Oh, I didn't know that.
If you're trying to play GTA, you have to have a PC.
I only use consoles, Xbox.
Yeah, bro. Even the old Call of Duties, Modern Warfare. You could in gun game. I'm pretty sure if you shoot someone and they jump a certain way, you can jump out of the map.
Wait, what?
Oh.
Yeah, in one of the multiplayer games, I think it was Modern Warfare 3. There was.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a certain map. There's a certain map where you sit on a mountain, or a mound or something, and you jump, and then someone fires a rocket at you.
Yeah.
You don't die. You actually jump out the map.
Yeah.
Oh, you ride the rocket out.
Yeah, legit.
And it'll just turn blank and shit.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah.
Bro, how do we start talking about rockets and Call of Duty?
Dude, it's legendary games.
Bro, we should record this and then chuck in put in a USB and chuck in a time capsule.
Exactly.
And
literally, bro. All I'm saying is just keep your ears out.
And talking about that, if you were to actually, put these memories away now, where do you see yourself in the future? What are you wanting to achieve?
To be honest, I haven't really thought about it too much. I've just done the music and I just see where it takes me.
It's good, bro.
I used to really think about where I wanted to be ages ago, but now I just plot and execute.
But I think it's probably the best way to go about it, because if you look too far ahead and go, I want to get to that stage, I want to be like this person, you've got to kind of focus on your own journey. And like as you go along, you know, for Luke as well, who's going on that process right now. He's started and he's released a few songs. And he's doing really well, but that's the starting point. Like going from that process and then continuing that process. Like you just set like little small incremental goals, like where you want to head, and don't set too high expectation of one certain thing, because things are going to change, man. And I'm assuming, I bet you $100 that like I haven't heard your earlier stuff.
Yeah.
And I bet you like the music you first released versus the music that you've made now is so different, and you never expected to make this sort of music.
Never. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Never. Yeah, that's so true. Like honestly, it started off very garagey. You know what I mean? Like it was just in the garage, but then I just realized that I could do more with it. Yeah. So that's what I love about music. Like you could test yourself to like limits if you just keep practicing and keep trying. That's the best thing about it. Yeah. Because
Luke was saying that what you were saying about every night, you know, with the whole process of recording songs and just being in the music. Yeah. Like what were you saying before to me about that?
Like every night, come home from school, sit down, play a beat, record a song or record melodies, choruses, write lyrics, anything. I've just got something where I have to do that.
Love that.
And then it'll get to a time where Dad's like, bro, just shut up. Just stop making so much noise. I'm trying to watch the news. And I'm like, okay. So then I just like, I stop making music. I stop like recording, but I'll still be like writing lyrics all night.
Straight up.
Or like
that's good.
Listening to beats.
That's full dedication right there. I like that.
Like even the boys, sometimes they'll be like, yo, get on PlayStation, play Rocket League, play this. I'm like, I'm busy. And they're like,
dude,
you're always busy, bro.
It's good to have like some time off as well.
Yeah, you need downtime.
Yeah.
Like you
try and get some like hour, 2 hours like gaming done, if you can.
Do you
have time? Yeah.
Do you find that if you don't actually give yourself time to just relax, have you had moments where you've burnt out?
Straight up, there's been times like now I have this thing where my writer's block is like big now. So when like I won't be able to write a song for like months and months and months, so I just wouldn't make music. And for 1 month, I make like 6 songs, and then I won't be able to write for like another 8. It's just weird. Like
yeah, bro. And with your management team, it's Cartel Management.
Yeah, Cartel.
Shout out to Cartel. Yeah, no, absolutely. Who's the person behind Cartel?
So Anthony and Christina. They're a couple in Melbourne.
The magic duo.
Straight up. Literally.
How good.
The magic duo.
Yeah, bro. Bro, they're doing wonders. Yeah. But like, how important is it to actually find a management team that is supportive? Like, you know, they're doing amazing things for yourself. You know, I want to praise those guys.
Thank
you know, how important is it to find a management team that's supportive of your vision and what you're trying to achieve?
I think because for me and them, we've had like a long relationship.
Yeah.
So like they've known me when I was like just becoming an adult. So they're like a little bit older, so they understand that like kids go through that.
You're like their baby, bro.
Literally, man. Yeah. That's what I call them sometimes, man. But just finding the people that care about you and that would call you out on certain things.
I love that, bro.
Like, you know, they would, you know, because I used to be pretty like stubborn with them, and now like we have this crazy good relationship, and
that's good, bro. Because you realize even though what they might be saying isn't in agreement with what you're trying to achieve, long term you go, oh, they actually made the right decision. Yeah, you know, like it's like your parents, bro. Yeah, like they're like
that's why I love the relationship with them, because they actually care about you, you know, and they're not like managers who are just there for the like money or whatever.
Is that hard to find in the industry?
Pretty hard. Like I'm pretty lucky to have them, because they've, you know, and I also have a personal relationship with them too.
Yeah, love
you
that.
Also need to have like a personal relationship, or else, you know, you just won't be able to flourish with them. But with me, like I could tell them anything, they could tell me anything, you know.
That's good. You got to have like an honest relationship with them, because then that way it's not like, oh, if I say this to them, how will they react? But you know, obviously Cartel are amazing, and they're doing amazing things with other artists and for yourself. So very lucky, bro.
Thank you, bro. Yeah.
Before we wrap this up, I'd love to just ask you something. You know, for the listeners tuning in, straight up, bro. straight up, ask. I'll say it as it is.
Straight up.
We're going back to full ASMR again, bro.
Bro, this should be sound bites, dude.
Bro, get a bit of traction from the sound bites, man.
Stop whispering into it.
So,
Yes, sir.
so what's going on? Yeah, so for people that are trying to like push themselves in their passion, you know, obviously they've got to allow for times where there will be hurdles along the way. But to get to where you are now, obviously you've got to put yourself out there and you've got to speak to the right people. And there's going to be times where they're going to be like, no, we're not interested. But to continue that process and to continue on that journey, like, what would you advise people to do?
You have to keep, like, well, you have to realize, to be honest, if you love it yourself. Because
100%.
that's, like, one thing that if you don't truly love it, you're always going to go through hurdles because, you know, like, you're not consistent with it. But if you love music, like, and if you love whatever you're doing, you just naturally won't get out of it. So then it's just the question of how hard you're going to go, you know, like, at something you love. Because I know it sounds cliche, but you have to realize that you have, like, time on your hands now, and you can't waste it on doing certain things. So the time and the energy you put into something is the product you'll get out of it. Yeah. Like, I used to think it was really cliche, but the more you invest into yourself, the more you know.
With performing, like, your first performance, what was that like?
Well, the first ones were, like, little ones in Brisbane. That was, I used to get really nervous around the time. I still do, but now I'm just more, I see it more as, like, a visualization of
like
the
an
song.
interaction with everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, because at the start, you'll be doing it for yourself, man. You got to build yourself up, and then once you're happy with yourself and how your performance is and where you're going and where you're heading, then everything else will come into play.
Yeah. That's one thing I've realized in the past year. It's about the self being, like, you being you.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining, brother.
Thanks for having me,
Been
man.
wonders, bro.
Thank you.
Thanks again, man.
Thank you for having me.
Because we're building these connections, and again, how weird, like, small world, you guys know M-Phase. I can't believe that.
Shout out M-Phase, he's the GOAT.
Shout out M-Phase, love the bro.
And for people that are trying to listen to your music, bro, how do they manage to find it?
iiiConic on Spotify.
Yeah.
And wherever else, except for, like, the ones that no one uses. MySpace.
And what about cartel management? Like, if someone's like, yo, I might reach out to them and see if they're keen for people. If
you Google cartel management, it's just the website. They have the contact details. Cartel Management Australia. That's what I
love it. And Luke, or the Theonedevoy, as you go by, how do people find you?
So I'm the Theonedevoy on Spotify, SoundCloud.
Let's go.
Pretty much the same as iiiConic here.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Bro, I want to say one thing. Just be confident in yourself. Like, that's the biggest thing. Like, like, you look at other people and be like, oh, like, they're doing all these things. You got to be so confident in yourself, bro. Because, like, the moment you've done that, like, you'll go places. Yeah. I don't think I can't see this conversation stopping, so I'll have to, buddy.
No worries.
Guys,
thanks for having me, man. Thanks for having me.
This, guys, has been anytime, bro. This has been season 3, episode 11 of Couch in the Mind, clearing the mind one couch talk at a time. And on today's episode, we went over the topic of lyric message. So again, Aka, Luke, aka the Theonedevoy, on the couch, joining me, laid back, having a good time. And as always, guys, if you need anything, just reach out to me on the Couch in the Mind Facebook page. If you guys enjoyed this episode and you're after more Couch in the Mind content, feel free to check us out on Spotify, Instagram, TikTok, and many other audio platforms. And as always, guys, if you need anything, feel free to message me on the Couch in the Mind Facebook page. Thanks again for tuning in.